This is the schoolhouse. This is our hunting camp where we've been coming ever since I can remember, and Dad's been coming here since he lived out here. We pretty much meet here the day before first season shotgun, and this is where it all takes place. Got a lot of good memories in here, and I'm sure my dad's got a lot more than I got to tell you about, but once it's deer season, we come out, and if it's just hanging out or if we're having our good-sized parties, I guess you could say, we spend a lot of time out here during the deer season.
If you are a deer hunter in Jefferson County, Iowa, the old Buchanan Schoolhouse is pretty much sacred ground. For as long as anyone can remember, it has been a deer camp, a place so thick with memories they fairly drip off the walls. How many stories of giant racks have echoed around this ancient wood burner? How many friendships were forged? How many generations were raised? For Dylan Laux, the place holds special memories. The old Buchanan School is a place he shared his passion for hunting with family and friends.
There've been a lot of deer hung here. Ever since I was little, you'd come running up here and see what they shot for the day, and they'd all be hanging in here. My dad got me started hunting, me and my brother. I got a brother who's 11 months younger than me, and he got us both started hunting really young. Got a BB gun 3 or 4 years old, and then got our first 22s probably 6. What my dad mostly did was group hunting first season. So after we got old enough, me and my brother both drove deer with my dad until about 2 years ago.
Group hunts and deer drives were a time-honored tradition in Iowa. With the limited range of the shotgun-only season, the only way to get a deer was to get close, and the only way to get close was to get them moving.
All the guys get together every year and get together the day before first season started and basically hang out at the hunting camp. The next morning you'd meet up and there'd be 12 to 15 people, and they'd go out and you have your standers on one side and then you have your pushers coming through, and we'd push through always just the land they owned, and we had a couple guys back then you were able to go on their land and push through. So just driving them through the timbers pretty much.
The great Iowa deer drives are becoming a thing of the past. Still hunting with archery equipment has become the norm for the Laux family, as is the case in much of the Iowa hunting community. But as the opening of the first season approached in December of 1990, deer drives were still the rage, and Dylan's father, Mike Laux, was hunting hard. And on that opening day of the season, Mike Laux hung a deer up at the old Buchanan Schoolhouse that hunters are still talking about to this day.
Well, basically, it was like a regular year for them guys. Him and his brother, my Uncle Phil, were going out, and it was first day opening, first season shotgun, and they were out, went hunting all day, and there's a draw, just a small finger back in the back behind the schoolhouse, and they decided they're gonna go walk through that, and they set up, and my dad set up the end of it, and my Uncle Phil went through and was pushing it through, and just happened that deer came out like 30 yards away, and took 3 shots at it, and I guess the first one's the one that did it, and I guess it dropped about 100 yards away from where he shot it at, so there wasn't even much tracking or anything for it.
Mike Laux was stunned when he finally got a look at the rack. It was huge, by far the biggest, most massive bunch of horns he had ever seen. 11 points on the right side, 7 on the left. The mass was breathtaking. The circumferences start at 6 inches coming right out of the head and bulk up to 8.5 inches on the right side. It's a classic-looking rack, even though it is sporting over 100 inches of irregular points. Its final Boone Crockett score would be 220 5/8. Not a bad day out for the Laux brothers.
I think that deer just came bolting out. I mean, you're pushing them, they're running. I think it was just boom, 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 and that was it. It was down, and I could imagine what he felt like when he walked up there and saw it. I mean, all the pictures I've seen from when they had it hanging in the back of the truck, and everybody's smiling, so I'm guessing it was a pretty exciting day. From what I've gathered, I don't think he knew it was a record-breaking deal. I mean, it dropped 100 yards away. I think they all ran up, saw it, and kind of got adjusted for how big. I mean, it was big deer, and I don't think he knew that it was, at the time, what it was until brought it back. Everybody got to looking at it, and kind of word got around, and family came out and saw it. Turned into kind of a big deal for them.
It still is a big deal. By far, it is the biggest deer ever to hang at the old Buchanan Schoolhouse, and there have been more than a few. As the fire gets stoked and the refreshments are poured, the talk in this legendary schoolhouse hunting camp eventually winds back around to that first day of the first season so many years ago, when Mike Laux brought back the big one. Those stories still whisper across these Iowa hills.
Back in here, across this hill by those tree lines we did all our drives at, and back behind those drives there's another little draw, and that's where that deer came from, is back in there, next to an old hog shed. We don't do a whole lot of hunting anymore around here. The hunting pressure's been so much that it's just not the population there used to be. We still hunt a little bit here, but it's nothing like it used to be. Don't drive deer here anymore, so it's more just the hunting camp.
And though the Laux rack is now part of the King of Bucks collection, that doesn't mean it won't find its way back to Iowa from time to time. An opportunity for everyone to appreciate this incredible trophy.
Going through multiple Bass Pro Shops, we've seen it, and we go to the Deer Whitetail Classic every year in Iowa, and the King of Bucks trailer is always there, and we walk through it and look through, and everybody you take, you go to the trailer pretty much and see if it's in there this time. And been through multiple Bass Pro Shops and seeing it hanging up, and just cool to take everybody to show it and let everybody else get a chance to see it too.